Hi guys, how's it going? In this video I want to talk about the book called The Creative Act. This is a book by Rick Rubin, and many of you have asked me if I read this book before. Yes, I did. And I'm also currently reading the second time, and I'm taking notes and putting bookmarks. This is a great book. So Rick Rubin, for those of you that still don't know who he is a legendary music producer. He's also one of the figures responsible for the early hip-hop albums, the early hip-hop stuff. And then later on, he produced so many different artists, from Metallica to Christina Aguilera, Johnny Cash, Nine Inch Nails, like you name it. Like, he's been involved in so many different productions that just because of that, if you don't know about him, you should go on Google and type Rick Rubin Wiki. Now, in this book, Rick Rubin tries to put together, along probably with his team or with editor, a sum of all his thoughts, teachings, and whatever he learned throughout his life about creating stuff. It's not just about music production, it's about creativity 360 degrees. This is because Rick Rubin doesn't have much of a technical knowledge. He's not one of those producers that is also a sound engineer, or is a musician, or he knows the technical stuff behind music. He is mostly a vibe check person, somebody that literally goes and checks the vibe of the song, the mood, and tries to understand if there is something blocking the artist to accomplish the best that they can do. In the creative act, what is discussed is mainly steps to free your mind and put yourself in the best situation possible to create art. And what I really like about Rick Rubin's vision is that anybody is, in the end, an artist. If we consider art as a form of expression where you don't really need a particular tool or a particular form of classification. Now, we are so used about classifying art by level of success, or also by how many people acknowledge what you're doing. So if you're a singer, you should be on TV. If you are an artist, you should have millions of streams on Spotify. But that's not true, at least not for everybody. The creative act is about the beauty of creating something. And then obviously, if the audience loves what you do, or if you're working in a particular field in the entertainment and you're playing the game, then in those cases, yes, you can say that you are a famous or successful creative person. But in the end, you are creating just like any other creative person around the world. The only difference is that some people have a more honest, raw way of creating, and other people are more produced, more complex, somehow a little bit more artificial and manufactured, therefore sometimes less honest. Now, the creative act wants to focus on the honest, raw, and pure form of creativity. Do I suggest you to read this book? Yes. I suggest at least to check the digital ebook form of The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I'm not sponsored by this book at all, but it's one of those books that if you are into art in general, you should definitely check it. If you don't want to buy the ebook version, at least go on YouTube and type a Rick Rubin interview and see what he's about. If you use a little bit of the Rick Rubin wisdom, I'm sure that you'll find ways of challenging yourself and ultimately, probably, being even better about producing music or playing an instrument or DJing or whatever you do in order to express yourself and be happy. If you like my videos, please remember to subscribe. And this is part of my podcast. It's called The Cook Beats Show. I'm not going to talk about music all the time. I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Anything that I think personally helps me to create more art and to be more free when I express myself. Ciao for now.